Hey, welcome back to Newbies to Movies. My name's Justin, and this week we got two special guests on. We have returning guest Hayden, who's been on the show a couple times, and then we also have a new guest, Sam.
What's up?
Welcome in, guys. This week we'll be doing Christopher Nolan, so we're going to be diving into him a second time on the podcast, obviously with his new movie, The Odyssey, and then one of his first movies, The Prestige, one of his first blockbuster movies, I'd say. But before we get into that, Sam, I always ask the guests when they come on here, kind of tell me about your favorite movies, your movie watching experience, your favorite genres. Just talk a little bit about what you like.
Well, I don't know, man. It's hard, like, just off the top to come up with, but I'd say, like, personal favorite, Rango comes to mind. I love that movie. Genre-wise, man, I love animation a lot, just because I feel like as a medium, there's a lot more you can do than live action and animation, especially with like conveying stuff to the audience, like through colors, and especially like emotions wise, like animation, especially with how far it's come in like today's technology, is like you can really convey a lot more emotion and scale and like little creative things that you can do. And I think Rango's a really good like example of that.
Yeah.
And I don't know. On top of that, I do love Interstellar. That's definitely up there for me.
I'm sure we'll talk about that one a lot today.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll come up. Honestly, recently, Project Hail Mary really stood out to me a lot. I love that movie, especially like it was really refreshing to watch in the like past couple of years, going to the movie theater, seeing like an original story like that and it being done so well. It was,
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that. That was refreshing for sure.
Kind of getting into that just with stuff we've been watching lately. I actually just rewatched that and I keep trying to like dumb it down to myself. I'm like, no, it's just recency bias. I'm just like excited because it's a newer film, but it actually is that good. I think it's just sticking with me.
It is really. I actually went and saw it originally in standard, and it blew me. I went and saw it with my girlfriend just because I was like, oh, this would be like it seemed like a nice fun movie, like for me and her to go watch together or whatever. And then like I was like, I mean, she enjoyed it as well, but like once I saw it, I realized like, oh, it's like one of these movies, like. It really stuck with me. So I actually went back and watched it in IMAX by myself.
Yeah, crazy.
And it was great, dude. I loved it. It was incredible, man. I mean, just like the colors in that movie, like the just like the characters are so well written, man. I mean, like I'm over here crying about a rock that's a puppet, and like it's like that's what writing really can't do, is like take inanimate objects like that, or like, and make it that emotionally like weighted.
Yeah,
an
for
audience
sure.
member. So
that's one I really wish I watched in theaters. I really regret not seeing that one in theaters. That's such a great.
It was great.
Movie. What about you, Hayden? What you been watching lately?
Recently, it's a TV show, not a movie. Sorry, kind of throwing off the segment here, but the new Batman Prime show.
Oh, okay.
I think Matt Reeves is involved with it. It's so good. It reminds me of the old show a lot, the animated series, and that's something I've been into recently. I've been actually watching a lot of kids movies. I just got back from vacation with my girlfriend, so we watched a lot of like low budget kids movies because we had like the free thing on. I forget what it's called, but it's like Return from Mars. Let me look it up real fast.
Yeah. No, while you're doing that, I started watching the Batman animated series on Prime. I just never got to finish it. I got sidetracked with other stuff, but it was a really cool start. No, so they basically, it's kind of like what they're doing with X-Men 97. They're bringing it back.
Yeah.
They're just bringing back the same like art style and everything. I think it's a different Batman, but it's still, that same noir style, art style.
Yeah. I thought X-Men 97, by the way, is really great. If you haven't
amazing. I'm up to date on it. So good.
Yeah, it's really great.
So I watched. It was called Escape from Planet Earth.
Huh.
I've never
I think
seen
I've heard of it.
I think it's like one of those lower budget movies, but
I think I remember.
Blew me away. Like,
is it
Brendan Fraser, Sarah Jessica Parker,
astronaut, right?
Yeah, William Shatner, Jessica Alba, Craig Robinson from The Office, George Lopez, Sofia Vergara. I was like, I recognized so many voices, and it was actually such a good movie. I really loved it. It was like, it's like something that just, I guess, got overlooked by big studios or something.
Is that when they go to like the alien is Mars, right? Or
it's Area 51.
It's Area 51, and they're like 1950s styled like aliens with like white picket fences and shit, right? And like the astronaut is like the alien to them. Am I wrong on that or?
So it's basically about like there's all these different alien species that have been captured over the years and they haven't been able to return home. So this one planet like wants to like be the first to like go there and like save all the ones that are captured and like bring them back home. And there's like two brothers. There's this like super brawn one. There's like this like wimpy one, but the wimpy one ends up saving the day. Yeah, saves the brawny. It's a good story.
I was thinking of something totally different. So my bad. I want to bring up the one I'm just talking about now, but
do it.
I vaguely remember this movie. You said all those names, and I'm intrigued by this because I don't remember this that much.
What was the one you were thinking of?
Dude, it's the one where the astronaut like crashes on Mars and like it's like it basically takes like the alien concept and flips it on its head where like he's the alien to them. You know what I mean? And like it has like this 1950s like American graffiti style. Like all the aliens are like wearing like suit and ties and stuff like that. Man,
I'm trying to find it.
Mars, dude, it's Mars or something. Just I would say like animated alien. It's that same time frame, probably like 2012.
Okay, I think I found a picture of it, but it's not listing what the movie is called. It's in Spanish, like the picture itself.
I'm looking at it.
Is it like a family of aliens, and then there's like one astronaut?
Yes.
Yeah. I see a picture of it here. Let me Google image search.
Planet 51. It's Planet 51.
Planet 51.
This might be one of the deepest pulls ever.
That's what I was thinking about when you brought up.
Dude, that might be made by the same animators because that is like literally. It's the
very
same.
Similar.
It's the same, dude.
I remember this movie.
Yeah.
It's literally the same.
The Rock is in it. There's like a stacked cast on this one too.
That's why when you started naming those names, that's what I thought this was because there is a stacked cast for this as well. And dude, like even like dude, the aliens like. They have like tentacles for hair, but like she's wearing like a hairband and stuff and like a tennis outfit. It's so bizarre, but funny.
What is this cast?
I know it's like
Justin Long, Gary Oldman, Jessica Biel.
Yeah, dude, I know. I thought this is what you were talking about.
How much money did this lose?
I don't know. I remember having it on DVD.
$50 million budget.
I remember having this on DVD and watching it in the car. I'm pretty sure.
Dude.
Yeah, 2009. Yeah, that was prime car watching times.
Dude, that's the $2 bin at Walmart. That's one of those ones.
For sure. This is exactly where I got it from. I'm 90% sure.
All right. So kind of getting into it with this week. Obviously, this is the second time we're doing Christopher Nolan on the podcast. I'd argue like the director for our generation, right, is probably the biggest name. Most money, everybody's throwing money at him, and all the actors are taking pay cuts to work with him.
Yeah.
Obviously, he just had the Odyssey come out, huge box office hit. I think we kind of knew that from 2 years ago when it was announced that it was going to be. But Christopher Nolan just keeps cooking. What does kind of Christopher Nolan mean to you guys? I mean, what are some of your favorites, and how long have you been watching him for?
Sam, I'll let you go first. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I think the main thing that sticks out about him is non-linear storytelling, obviously. That's like his big thing. I remember, I don't know if you guys have ever seen the clip of him explaining like his storytelling. He has the black chalkboard and he draws the line of like the timeline of the movie and then like breaks it up into like 3 phases and then does like these jumps of like bouncing between those and like basically breaks down that's how he makes film. And like, I think that's what keeps it. I think that's what allows him to do a lot with a movie and like really like do a lot with the plot and like keep the audience on their toes. Like especially with like The Prestige or like Memento or something like that, where you're watching the movie and you have to follow it really closely because there's all this stuff, and then you get to the end and you're like, that's like where those little mind blowing moments come. And like doing like linear storytelling, it's really hard to like implement that stuff because it's a lot easier to catch and all that. But when you're bouncing around, and I think people try and do that, and it can really break a movie because then you get confused and lost and like you get disinterested. And like he is the best at it because he does it so well that instead of that, you're more interested in it and pay attention more. And then it almost draws your attention in so much that like you're able to notice all these little details. And like creativities that like the people behind these movies do and do so well, and allows you to pick up on that, where I feel like other big blockbuster movies, like that kind of stuff gets overlooked or like completely like they don't even bother because like the modern audience doesn't really care or pay attention to that kind of stuff anymore, especially like Netflix movies where like they're like literally made so you can sit on your phone and like not even watch
Yeah.
it, and like that's why like the dialogue is so bad. But I mean, yeah, that's like where he like that's what I think about when I hear Nolan for sure.
Yeah.
I guess my answer is going to be a little different. What Nolan means to me, I remember when I was 6 years old, the first PG-13 movie I was allowed to see was The Dark Knight. I remember I was in Utah with my family, and that was the first, like, I remember just being so shocked by how good it was. Even at that age, I was like, I've never seen anything like that. I was hooked from there. And I found out The Dark Knight Rises was coming out. I think I was like 9 years old, maybe when that came out or something. And that's like peak, like Batman, like that's the first time I was like super excited about a movie. Like I had to go see it, had to be the first one in the doors. And like, yeah, I think Nolan really kind of like sparked my love for movies, to be honest. I don't think I really had like a super big like love for movies up until like that.
Yeah. Yeah. He does that for a lot of people for sure. Yeah. Straight up, we'll just get right into the Odyssey. For the plot, I gave the Odyssey an 8. Obviously, based on Homer's Odyssey, the epic novella from back in the day. I was a little bit worried coming into this. How do you adapt such a big time book into a movie? But I think he did a really great job, obviously, with the nonlinear storytelling in this. Obviously, it's following Odysseus, the Greek king of Ithaca, on his long, perilous journey home after the Trojan War to get back to his wife Penelope and his son Telemachus, and kind of deal with the chaos at home. I think the plot was executed really well. And funny enough, I think my favorite plot points in this were the beginning, before his actual Odyssey, and the ending when he actually arrives home. I think the journey home is still really good. I think it just gets a little repetitive. But again, that's not even Nolan's storytelling. That's just, the adaptation from the book itself.
Yeah, I think it described it literally perfectly. It's a very challenging task to take on as a director. I think what he did, if in terms of like fitting in the amount of book into, even though it was a very long movie, I think he made it very watchable, and that's very tough to do with something like this. And I think he did a good job, but there's maybe, I guess, online you'll see like he missed this plot point or he missed that plot point, and I don't think he deserves, I guess, too much slack for that, but I guess there's some things he should have addressed, and I think he did a good job overall, though.
Yeah, I mean, piggybacking off that a little bit, obviously it's a 3-hour movie. I mean, the actual book is what, like a couple thousand pages or something like that. I mean, it's a very long story, so you have to be able to condense it down into a watchable film. So obviously things are going to get, I don't mind plot points getting dropped. Although I guess I do have kind of a critique about those, which I won't get into yet, but that is one of them. Just the plot points that were chosen to be dropped, I think kind of weaken the story a little bit. And my thing about the Odyssey so far was, I think that it stands out as definitely Nolan's vision, the scale. And then I think he kind of took it, like the Odyssey is like a historical adventure. And I think he instead of focusing on like the adventure part, made it more about like war, the survival, family, identity, like the weight of decisions, especially like at the end with the monologue that Matt Damon or Odysseus goes on talking about, basically like how heavy it is to do a lot of the stuff that he did, especially with Troy, because Troy is like that big reoccurring theme. And you can tell like that really affected him heavily. So I think that was like the Odyssey like plot was kind of like the vehicle that Nolan used to basically showcase those themes. And then honestly, I think the biggest like strength of this whole movie is not even the plot. It's like the scale of the visuals, the like sound design in the movie, like all of that stuff. Like, I mean, the movie is visually like stunning, every set piece, every like scale and design. I mean, I know people like complain about like the armor and stuff and how it wasn't realistic or whatever, but like even the Odyssey is like the actual story. It's a fake story. It's not real. I mean, it's embellished, dude. Like, I mean, it's so like I mean, what do you want? Like, you know what I mean? I think I'd much rather things look visually appealing and cool. And obviously like there's inspiration from the like source like material of like the armor and all that, but they took it and had creative liberties with it and made, I think it looks fantastic, you know,
Yeah.
like Agamemnon's armor. I think that looks, I mean, the dude has like what, like 3 lines in the movie, and like every scene he's in, he commands just because of like, you don't even see Benny Safdie's face really. I mean, but just
Yeah.
him standing in that armor, I mean, it like really does hold like a presence with that stuff. And like, I mean, all of like the sequences, like obviously like in the cave and the Cyclops and all that, like the fact that that's like a real puppet, like that they use like massive puppet, and all like that's, they filmed it in the actual cave that the Odyssey talks about, like that cave that the Cyclops is supposed to be in. That is the real cave that Odysseus came across on his journey home that Homer based it off of. So like that's kind of things, like that's what I think from a directing standpoint, he killed it as a director,
Yeah.
and it's a great showcase of amazing directing for a movie. And I would say like probably when we do get into like critiques, my only critiques have to do with I guess some of the writing and some of the acting or whatever. But when it comes to Nolan and how he did the movie, I think that's a 10 out of 10 there
Yeah, for sure.
for sure.
Getting into the characters, I gave it an 8. I think most of the characters were drawn out really well. Obviously, I think Odysseus, being the main character, I was pleasantly surprised with Matt Damon's acting in this.
I agree.
I think Anne Hathaway
Yeah,
playing Penelope too was a really great and
amazing.
well-written character. But even the supporting cast, I think all the characters were drawn out pretty well, especially if, like Hayden kind of mentioned, for being a long movie and such a long book. For the most part, everything was drawn out well enough to where I cared about each and every one of these characters.
Do you want to go ahead or?
Sure. Yeah, we're just talking about the characters, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said, I think Matt Damon really shocked everyone with this. I don't think that was everyone's first choice when, I guess, first hearing about Christopher Nolan picking up this movie, but I think he killed it. Yeah, I think Anne Hathaway as Penelope was incredible. I think I don't want to be too harsh, but I do think that Tom Holland Zendaya in every major film is Tom Holland made the second most money out of any actor in this movie, and I feel like they could have picked anybody for that, and I don't think I don't know. I love both of them, but I didn't really see the need for either of them in those two roles. I really loved, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but John Leguizamo, or
Yes,
I forget
Leguizamo.
his name.
Yeah.
I thought he was incredible this movie. I'm a huge fan of him. I think his performance is going to be a little overlooked at places like the Oscars and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But I think he was incredible.
yeah. I was gonna say the same. I would say the supporting performances by him and Robert Pattinson definitely like really steals the show. I would say, like you said, Anne Hathaway and Matt Damon are really, really great, and the John and Robert Pattinson really steal in the supporting cast. Now, like my thing is, yeah, I do think some of like the Zendaya performance, I think that has to do with the writing and like the creative choices they took, because the original story, Athena has like a really more of a big part than they made her have in the movie, which I think kind of definitely like, I mean, affected her performance with how they just kind of made her not really do anything in the movie. But which towards the end of the movie, it makes sense, because I really like that like aha reveal moment of like why she takes the form that she does, because you see in the end, in the sacking of Troy, Zendaya is killed because she was one of the citizens of Troy, and that really stuck with him, and that's why throughout that movie Athena is taking the form of that girl who is Zendaya, but and that's like because it weighs on him and it sits with him the whole movie, is like guilt.
Yeah.
Like she's taking that personification that of that by being that girl, because in the actual story she comes back, and that has to do with Greek mythology as a whole, and especially with like the main theme of that movie being Zeus's law, right? And the whole point of Zeus's law is like you are hospitable to everyone because you don't know who could be a god, because they love to take forms of humans all the time. That's what they do. And like that was the main theme in the Odyssey, was Athena was taking form of like the old man thing inside of Ithaca, like the robes and all that. She actually turns Odysseus into that in the actual story, which I know in the movie he kind of just puts on a robe and like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, but she actually like makes him into an old man and all like beggar looking. So she
Well, it's
plays a
such
big
a
role in the actual one.
yeah.
And I think that's why people like think her performance was bad, but like I think that's just because of the writing they chose to make her like that. But
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say too, it's such an interesting choice not to actually show the gods either. Like even in the end, we find
Mhm.
out Zendaya's character was just like a personification of his
Yep.
guilt.
Yep.
So yeah, it is definitely a choice for sure to
And
go into it that way.
even like Calypso. So
Yeah.
in the actual story, him being stuck on that island is because Calypso is trapped in there because she's alone and she doesn't want, once he's there, she traps him because she wants companionship and she keeps him trapped by, you know, how PG-13 I can say like, yeah, she keeps him trapped by like having sex with him and like all that stuff.
Yeah.
And she, in the actual story, he's trying, the only way, she doesn't want to let him leave. And Athena actually comes and makes her let him go. And in the movie, it was kind of like, a little bit of a weak point because it feels like her relationship with Odysseus isn't really explored a lot. And like essentially like she is like in the real story, like he's like everything to her. And like the movie doesn't really make their relationship feel like meaningful or emotional. Like when he leaves, she's just kind of like, all right, see ya.
Yeah.
And then like he like dips, like she like, so I don't know, especially because she's played by like Charlize Theron, who's like a powerhouse. And I don't know, I just feel like they didn't really go deep, but like, you know, I know it's the movie has a runtime, so like I don't like it's not like a bad thing, but I think it's
Yeah.
something they could have done just a little better. And then like the nobody thing, I don't know if you know about that. That kind of was like a little bit of a weak point for me because I was that whole like Cyclops like sequence when they were in the cave. I was waiting for that to happen because like I know the story. So and when that didn't happen, I was like, okay, that kind of like really like takes the weight of it away, and especially with like the weight of Odysseus's character because when they removed like the nobody trick, which is basically in the original story, Odysseus is trapped in the cave, and like when they stab his eye out, the Cyclops' eye, the Cyclops asks like who is there, like who did this, like blah blah blah, and he asks like Odysseus' name, and he says I'm nobody, like, and so when Poseidon comes to ask like who, because he's the son of Poseidon, he says no, like who did this to you, and he says nobody, and it like demonstrates like his intelligence and his hubris and his like just kind of like how like cocky he is almost. And I think they try to like go back on it by doing that arrow thing when he shoots the arrow at the last second into the Cyclops and his men get mad at him. But like they had already blinded him before that. So it kind of felt like just sort of like a oops, like here you go, we'll show you that he's kind of like an asshole, right?
Yeah.
But like they did it in like kind of like an afterthought way, which I kind of thought took away from it. But I mean, these are like little things that I'm
Yeah.
like I could just find, but yeah, I mean,
With that, kind of getting into the cinematography, I gave it a 10. We talked about a
easy,
little earlier. Yeah, it was just amazing. I
incredible.
don't know that there was much I would have changed. Color grading was amazing. Obviously, huge story surrounding this movie was Nolan filming this all with the IMAX cameras, even trekking through these mountains and these caves and
Hmm.
all that junk, and kind of the innovations behind creating these huge blimps around the cameras to protect them, one, but also make them a little bit quieter to film with. Just really amazing stuff. I didn't doubt that this movie wasn't going to be beautiful.
Yeah, nothing different over here. 10 out of 10 for me. I think most Nolan movies are 10s, if not very close. He overexceeded my expectations with the shots that he was able to do. I think the different landscapes, colors, the change in environments and moods, you can just see it all on the screen. He encapsulated it really well.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, I think we're all in agreement there. I mean, the whole movie's, I believe one of the like the tidbits I heard about that was if you stretch the entirety of the film, the 70 millimeter IMAX film, I think it was like some like 3 miles long is the
Yeah.
movie. And I think it's what 24 frames of that film is 1 second of the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it just shows you like the amount of like absolute like hard work that went into this, and it shows on the screen. I mean, it looks unbelievable. I mean, like, and that really like I think carries a lot of the movie is the fact that like every new place that you go to on this adventure, I mean, like it just really sucks you in with how enormous it all looks and like physically imposing the ships, the battles, the enormous sets and stuff. gives it a sense of weight and realism that just like, not a lot of movies in recent memory have even come close to. I mean, I believe it is the first movie to be entirely shot in 70 millimeter IMAX from beginning to end, which is just, I mean, absolutely a feat of human engineering and time and care and skill. And like, that's something that really does speak about him as a director of like caring about the medium of this of filmmaking to go that extra mile and do all that. And like it's cool, man, because there's you talk about the director a lot, but like behind the directors, there's all these people that get to, I mean, imagine being like the IMAX guys with the cameras that do all that. And like, they get to now shooting an entire movie in something that they've worked their whole lives perfecting, being those like camera technicians and the editing guys and the people that actually physically cut that film and put it together and all that. And it all translates very well into actually watching the movie. You see that care and attention to detail that I mean, it almost puts it in its own class of movie. I mean, it's like I don't think there's really anything you can really compare it to, which
no,
it's
for
amazing.
sure. I mean, kind of getting into that too with the set design, pretty perfect here as well. Obviously, I'm sure everybody's read about how they went to all the real world locations that were discussed and talked about during the Odyssey. So actually, it says they went across 6 different countries.
Mm-hmm.
Which is pretty amazing work. And I imagine that was quite the toll on the cast and the production.
Yeah.
But yeah, all that for a really good output, really.
Well, and it just shows, man. I mean, like CGI will never come close to that. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a lot easier, but I mean, something that I guess actually probably the only thing I could compare to would be the Lord of the Rings trilogy, the original with Peter Jackson. That's, I think, a masterpiece. I mean, I think that's probably the greatest trilogy of all time. And in 2000, 2001, those movies hold up so well today because they did the exact same thing of pretty much everything in that movie is practical effects. Like thousands of people with handmade armor, the battle. I'm blanking on the city now, but that was shot over 180 nights, and they had to make an actual scaled city where this battle took place. I mean, and it's amazing like how good it looks in today's like atmosphere of films and I think that's just awesome. And then on top of that, the film locations, I just wanted to add, when we were in theaters, the scene where they go to the underworld, they're on that black sand beach. I've actually been there before.
Oh, that's sick.
That was in Iceland. That was a black sand beach in Iceland. Me and Drew actually were there for like a day. And they also have it's like one section of the country as a very large portion of it is all black sand from the volcanic activity there.
Yeah.
And like that exact flat area that they were at, I was there with Drew, and getting to there is not an easy way. It is not easy to get there. So like I actually knew exactly like how, like where they had to walk from and like drive to, and like how they had to like get it. I can't even imagine like having to do all that stuff they did in that environment, which like added just like a layer of like coolness to me watching it, because I was like, oh, I know what that looks like, and like how hard that must have been to do all that stuff there. So yeah, it was pretty cool.
Hayden, what did you think of the set design?
I thought it was great. I mean, I think Nolan's budget and like the people that want to work under him, he's obviously going to get like some of the most talented people in every single position possible, and everyone's going to be doing their homework to make sure Nolan invites them again. And I think, yeah, you're just not really going to see much too wrong when it comes to the technical aspect of a Nolan movie.
Yeah. Getting into acting, I gave it an 8. I think overall the big standouts, Matt Damon and Anne Hathaway, obviously. Hard to not see them getting an acting nomination here. I think Pattinson was one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Dude is straight up a chameleon. I feel like he can play any role right now, and it's going to work. Yeah, I really enjoyed them. But did you guys have any other big standouts? I know you talked about John.
I mean, honestly, like the Tom Holland take, I thought he was all right, but I mean, he does share a lion's share of the screen time with Matt Damon. Like which was kind of like surprising to me, because going into the movie, that was like my main like almost worry, was a lot of the lead up and like advertisement for this movie was very much based on the star power list of A-listers, and I was like really worried that I was like, man, like the plot might be bad because and I was pleasantly surprised that like, now granted, like a lot of those people were in the movie, but their screen time was very limited. And like a lot of the weight was on the shoulders of Matt Damon, Anne Hathaway, and then definitely Tom Holland. And I thought it was good, but his performance was kind of bland. It was a little monotone, especially in the scene where Odysseus comes home and reveals to Tom Holland or to Ptolemaeus that he is his father, and like, which is like this huge like moment of like 20 years of anticipation, and like he also went on his own quest of leaving, going to Sparta and all that, and like coming back and like almost getting assassinated, all of that to like try and find his dad, and his dad ends up like being there waiting for him and like saves his life and all that, and then reveals that it is his father, and like he's kind of just like his face doesn't really change.
Yeah.
Like you would think
Also
it would
the
be
dog.
like this. Yeah, the dog scene. Like
It's not even the correct breed. It's like, it should be like a basset hound or something, like from the painting, and it's not even, it's like some, I don't know.
But definitely
Yeah,
like his reaction to that was like a big
I'm glad
takeaway
you
for
touched
me.
up on that, because I forgot to write about that in my notes. And I feel like that's
It
the
was
whole movie.
disappointing. Yeah, it was
It's
the
a little
whole movie.
disappointing.
It was the whole
When Tom
movie
is just
right
like,
there, and like you think
okay.
it'd be like this like heartfelt like you think he would like be something like just like the like life be sucked out of his face and like be in absolute awe and stuff, like this man that he's been like searching for, like for his own like identity as a son, as for his kingdom, for his mom, because you know she's over here getting circled by sharks essentially for the past 20 years, and like and I don't think his reaction, or I just think that scene was like really like just like fell mute, like.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my main. I think that was kind of my. But for the like remainder of the movie, like before all that, I don't think he did bad at all. I thought it was all right. I don't know if anyone could have done. I don't know. You know. But definitely John Leguizamo was, I think, amazing. I think he was incredible. I think Robert Pattinson kind of overshadows him a lot. Although I would honestly say he was kind of better in my opinion. Almost, I felt more emotionally connected to him, especially because like in the movie he's very like this is the man that's like stuck by Odysseus' side while he's been gone, and he's just a slave, by the way. I mean, technically, and like he's kind of just stuck in the corner, like, you know, can't really do anything, and everyone overlooks him, and he has every reason to kind of abandon Odysseus and like just for his own survival, especially in that scene when like the mercenaries come to like his farm for the sheep and all that, and they beat him up, and I mean, and they burn and kill and all that, and he's still waiting for Odysseus to come back, and there was a lot of emotional depth there, and I thought he played that incredibly, and like I wish I saw that kind of performance from Tom Holland.
Yeah.
Kind of like I feel like that was like it was kind of like a mirror of like how he did exactly what I expected Tom Holland to do, but yeah, that didn't happen. So, you know, but yeah, for the most part, I think everybody was pretty good. I wish there was more from. Actually, you know what? Who also stood out to me a lot was, I forget his name in the movie, but like his like right hand man out of his troop, like on the ships and all that. Do you know who I'm talking about? Yes, yeah. Him. I thought he was fantastic. I thought he was really good. And you know, now that I think about it, visually, I forgot to include this on the visual thing, but the scene where they all turn into pigs.
Yeah.
That
Super
was probably
creepy.
one of the craziest things I've seen on a movie screen, especially knowing that it's all practical. Like they were literally like forming that stuff, like in the scene. Like I remember, I don't know if because me and Hayden went and watched it together, like he could tell you, I was literally like this, like it was that grotesque, and like it was so mind-blowing. It was so cool, man. I mean, like I can't even.
It's got to be
describe.
his audition for like a horror movie, right?
It was, man. I mean, bro, that was so freaking cool and so well done. I mean, I can barely even put it into words. Just like you just have to see it and just to like be able to appreciate it. I mean, it was incredible. But yeah, Cash Patel. Yeah.
The sound design in the Cyclops scene was just like horrific. Like listening to it scream. Yeah. He's going to get a horror movie. That's probably what he's going to do next. That would be really wicked if he did. I would.
He mentioned something about it, right?
Yeah, I imagine that's where he goes next, but I don't know what. Yeah, so kind of getting into directing. I gave it an 8. I think obviously it's Nolan. It's going to be this amazing spectacle of a film. I did have a little bit of problems with the pacing in the middle, like I talked about. Didn't want to knock him too hard on the directing because obviously it's the source material it's coming from. The best parts to me were the beginning and the end story-wise. Some of the best set pieces as well. Obviously, we see the fall of Troy was a pretty amazing spectacle, but also the insight, right, to kind of break that up across the film for us to see more and more of what actually happened was such a cool thing.
Can you repeat that one more time?
Yeah. Just kind of talking about the scale and scope of the directing, but obviously the middle kind of dragged a little bit for me.
Yeah, I feel like maybe not the middle, but like when they did return home, I do remember like checking my phone on the time a couple times. I feel like that was dragged out a little bit. I don't know. I don't know. There were times where I felt like it was dragging, and then it was pretty like short window of feeling like that, and then you get right back into it, and I wouldn't feel that as much. But yeah, I don't know. How do you feel about that, Hayden?
I would say I was pretty engaged with the movie the whole time. The only scenes I like really, I guess, didn't care too much for were like the ones with I don't know what the character's called, the Charlize Theron scenes.
Yeah.
I don't know, that just it didn't. I don't know too much about the story of the Odyssey. I know a little bit here and there, but I don't know. I feel like they could have made that a lot more engaging based on how it's portrayed in the story. I feel like a little bit more engaging.
For sure.
Yeah, I agree. I think like we talked about, like Sam was kind of talking about with the source material, I think he just kind of chose to head away from that direction from the original source material, and that made that part a little bit slower. With the soundtrack, I gave it a 10. Obviously composed by Ludwig. That's my GOAT. That shit was amazing. Every scene just had an amazing, incredible, like grand soundtrack to it. So yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, the Siren song is like, I think it's like top 10 on like the sound, like the US Billboard.
Yeah.
Right now or something crazy, which is, it's unbelievable. Like what that guy's able to do with all of his studio equipment. He has like woodwinds and wooden instruments from all around the world that he like super rare stuff, and it's really cool what he's able to accomplish.
Yeah, I thought the score was great. My only gripe was, I don't know if you experienced this as well, but like in the theater, it was unbelievably loud.
Yeah.
Like the bass for like everything was like almost disorientingly, like I was almost like just like too much. But I mean, it's a skeptical or a spectacle of a movie, so like I can understand it. But like the actual music and stuff was fantastic for sure.
No,
I did feel like the audio mix was like a little too like overwhelming sometimes.
It was like 4D sound, dude. I could feel it in my chest.
And we didn't even see it in IMAX either. I know, shoot us, but in standard, it was so, I can't even imagine what it was. If it was IMAX, I don't even know if I'd be able to enjoy the movie as much as I could, because like it was that
I think
loud.
The problem is like the audio settings were built for IMAX speakers.
Maybe
they had it set up for regular speakers, so our speakers sounded like they were
getting blown out. Yeah, it was bad, but it was pretty funny.
The Cyclops crying was like ear piercing loud. Like
yes,
I imagine. Yeah.
Which go ahead.
I was just saying, like, I think for that, I understand. Like, it makes sense because you try to make it ear piercing loud, but like for us, like literally someone could have farted in the background, and I feel like I would be getting hit with a freight truck. Like that's how like the bass was in this movie. That's so bad. But yeah. Continue. Sorry.
So the theme, I gave it a 9. I thought, Sam, you kind of touched on it earlier. Kind of the heavy cost of war was a huge one in this.
Yeah.
Which, differs a little bit from the source material. Obviously, that plays a part in it, but there's a lot of other things going on too. I think he had to do this, right? He had to dial down the themes because there are so many in the source material. He had to pick a few, which I was okay with. He made a decision, right? I hate when directors don't make decisions and they just kind of copy and paste. He made a choice to specifically go after these themes, and I appreciate that. Also, like you talked about, the Zeus's law, kind of the moral necessity to have that social contract was interesting as well. Not necessarily showing Zeus, but the impact that it has on society and the world around you. And then obviously family and homecoming was such a big thing at the end as well. But what did you guys think about the themes?
I thought that I think the themes really pay off a lot at the end, especially like the homecoming part. And like when he does do that monologue, it really kind of does give you that big payoff of like what the whole movie is leading up to. And I thought it did that really well. You really feel it a lot in that monologue. I think that, I don't really know, honestly. I think that it was good in showing it in little ways throughout the movie, but it definitely really just pays off a lot at the end, and I think that's when they address a lot of it, especially at the end when like he's revealed on the boat, like still alive, and they're gonna sail out to the west, and like it kind of gave me like, I don't know if you've seen like Vinland Saga, but that has to do with like essentially very similar themes of like of basically, you have no enemies, like, peace and the guilt of what it means to like take lives and like war and destruction and I mean, I think that's the reason why Athena personifies herself as that girl that was killed in the sacking of Troy. Because these are real people with real lives and families, just like Odysseus's family, and it's really easy to forget that when it's just like casualties of war and stuff like that, and put it outside of your mind, which I think is something that that is kind of like personified in the whole lotus flower part, him eating that, and like that, like, and Calypso is trying to get him to remember and all that, and I think that kind of is like a metaphor for people who do go through war and things like that, where it is easier to forget, and remembering is hard, and once you do remember and like and put all that stuff into perspective in your mind, like how realistically like the toll of that is, and like how heavy that can be on somebody. And I think Odysseus was the perfect like example of like, there's like two. I think John Bernthal's character is kind of like the opposite of that, right? Where like he doesn't care, he's happy with Troy, and like he sees it as like this big win, and like, and he points out to like his wife, like Helena Troy, like how obviously like the whole point was to go get her back, but like, she doesn't actually love him, and he doesn't love her, and like, it was all a ruse because they just wanted to invade Troy for, like strategic purposes. But they're like eating in the hall and all that, and I feel like that's like he's supposed to be the perfect like mirror of Odysseus, like how he could be, but he does the opposite, which is basically, relinquish that like area of his being, and wants to be the opposite of that, which is like, be with like humility, and like and not be like take it as lightly, you know what I mean? Like it weighs on him, and through that monologue at the end, you can really see all that. I'm sorry if I'm going too far.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, I think Sam broke it down really well.
Yeah.
One thing I'll add is he touched on the fact that like forgetting is easy and remembering is hard. I guess from Penelope's perspective, it's the exact opposite, because she's going through something like she's trying not to forget Odysseus, and she doesn't. It's kind of like a different perspective from hers, and that's
a good point.
From when you talk about war, that's something that the people waiting at home, they kind of,
they can't forget. It's like still happening.
They can't. It's from vice versa, and from her perspective.
Yeah. Getting into the editing, I know Sam, you had mentioned it was like 3 miles of film.
Yeah.
Total in feet, the amount of film they used through the 91-day shoot was over 2 million feet, nearly 400 miles, which is just nuts to think about.
Yeah, they had to cut all that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild.
The amount of work that probably took was almost incomprehensible, but yeah, I thought the editing was done pretty good. Obviously, Nolan with his nonlinear storytelling definitely holds up here. I think it was done pretty good, especially with the fall of Troy, right? And we kind of keep seeing it clip back to that, and kind of the trauma that comes out of that. Yeah. It's a really neat thing to see.
Yeah, I can't wait for the Criterion Collection to come out with a $2,000 bundle of the entire film.
Yeah.
Watch.
I actually have a question. Would you watch it again? Like at
home? The film itself?
Yeah, like the Odyssey. Would you watch it again?
I think so. One thing that I talked to Tyler about, like Oppenheimer is super rewatchable to me. But some Nolan movies, I'm like, dude, I don't have the brain power to sit down and rewatch it. So I was kind of debating that myself. I think I would at least once, but after that, I don't know if I could go back.
Well, like, dude, like if I come downstairs and someone has Interstellar on, like I'll sit down and like I could watch Interstellar like
Yeah.
Like, anytime, or like even The Prestige, which I know we're gonna get into. I could watch that like I feel like sometimes when movies are this big, like this much of a spectacle and like have this much scale and scope and stuff. Because honestly, I don't think there's a lot of brain power that goes into watching the Odyssey, but like
Yeah.
it's like it's almost just like it's so much of a movie that like I don't know if I could like just like oh, the Odyssey is on, let me turn that on and like sit down and like it was very much, I feel like, something you watch in theaters. I probably would watch it again just because we're into movies and like just to like have a second viewing and all that. But yeah, I don't know if it's really like, I think it's kind of like a one and done sort of film, which is like not a bad thing. I just wanted to like see what your thought on that was as well.
I agree. No, like if I'm scrolling on like my cable box and I see this on halfway through, I'm probably not clicking it, dude.
I don't think you really could, man. I mean, or even like, dude, my parents, like I told them about it. Like, I don't even know if I could put it on. I don't even know if they would like. I don't think it's not easily digestible as a movie.
Yeah.
You have to like you have to really like movies, I think, to like really appreciate this. Like if you're not like a movie buff and like someone like tries to put this onto you, like I don't know how much they're really gonna enjoy it.
Yeah.
Just because like we know all the stuff that goes into this or whatever, but like your average Joe, I feel like, just be sitting there and be like, this is loud. And like, and who is this again? Or whatever, like the jumping and stuff. Like, I mean, but that's not really like, that speaks more about the person watching it than the movie. But,
I will say, I think what happened, and I could be completely wrong here, I think Nolan made Tenet and he's like,
it all comes back to Tenet.
He's like, shit. Like, okay, let me make real stuff. Like Oppenheimer existed. Odyssey existed. I think once you give Nolan his creativity back, once you give him, so Oppenheimer obviously couldn't, like, you can't do a lot with that.
It's historical, yeah.
I think once you give him back his creativity box after he just needed 2 movies to like reassure himself that he's the man. Now he's gonna hop back in his. Like Justin said, might be horror, but I think he's gonna hop back in his.
I would love to see an original. I want his originals back. That's what I want.
His originals are great. He made Tenet one bad movie, and I think he got a little worried.
Reeled it back in a little.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Well, if I mean, realistically, that kind of makes sense, because if you think about it, like these are pre-established IPs. Like the Odyssey is already something that exists. Oppenheimer is something that really happened and all that. So like he really gets to showcase his directing abilities, right? Which is why both of these are really, really good. And which we already know, he's a great director, and I think Oppenheimer was amazing and all that. But like they're already established, IPs, and I think the like magnum opus, like the like perfect storm of Nolan was when you have his directing ability matched with an original story, and then you get stuff like Interstellar, and then you get stuff like The Prestige, where like those are the ones where it's like, yeah, that's like prime Hall of Fame type.
I don't want to be wrong here,
movies.
but I would say you could throw in The Dark Knight and you could throw in The Dark Knight Rises.
Oh, of course.
When it comes to Batman, you have unlimited possibilities.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want.
That is an established IP in the characters, but the story was completely original. Like that's why they were so good and why they really changed the superhero genre at the time. Because I mean, if you think about it, the Batman Begins, 8 years before that, we had Batman and Robin with the bat nipples, and fucking Tim Burton's like you know what I mean? Like that's Batman, but Nolan did his own original take on the Batman, and like that's why those 3 films are just incredible, like visually, like from a director's standpoint, and from a plot and writing standpoint as well. Like I mean, dude, the character development in those movies was with Christian Bale, like writing his origin story almost into that was, I mean, I don't think we really ever got a Batman origin before that, and the way they did it wasn't like, with Spider-Man, like we see like 3. It's all like very like, like
cut
and paste origin, and like he really did his own thing with it, and like I think that's the whole reason why those movies are so amazing, because he's really
I
good
think
at that.
I'm calling it horror movie written and directed by Christopher Nolan next.
That would be peak.
I
would love it. What would you think, like, because I mean, you say horror is like, it's like kind of a broad genre. Like, I mean, you have like slasher movies, you have like more like psychological horror, which that's probably what I would say he would probably get into, or like if he was to do that. But I don't know. I mean, what do you think he would like? What kind of premise do you think
I
he would
don't
go
know.
for?
After the pig thing, like give me like a
Yeah.
give me like an alien shapeshifter, like
Yes.
blending into humanity kind of thing or something like that.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of sick.
Like almost like
Yeah.
the Thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or
I
like
want it.
Clayface. Or
I want it.
I was thinking like Clayface, or like even like in Marvel, like the Scrolls, like something like that would be kind of interesting too. Not with the Marvel, but like his own story around that. Yeah.
Yeah, no Disney. No. We don't want corporate overlords in our movies, please.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
No, like kind of like we just talked about. Overall enjoyment, I really enjoyed this. I gave it a 9, but maybe one of the coolest and most hyped movies of the decade, I'd say. But again, really cool spectacle in IMAX. Don't know if I'd go back and watch it anytime soon. I kind of just need a breather after it. But overall, the movie, I gave it 8.7 out of 10 or 87. So I was pretty high on it.
Yeah, I would say probably, I'd probably be like 8.2 or like low 8s, I would say for me personally. But it definitely was amazing. I mean, it was a great movie. I enjoyed like it was almost like going to like an event, I remember when me and him finished watching it, we came out of the movie, like I didn't even know what to say. Like we were like silent in the car. Like it was like so much to even process. Like I really it really did kind of leave you speechless. And
no, Hayden was talking. You just couldn't hear him. Your ears are still ringing.
Right. There's probably a little bit of that. It was like, I was just like, what? Like tinnitus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I give it I'll give it an 8, just flat.
Yeah.
Flat 8. I don't want to give it a 7, 9. I feel that's like disrespecting what it is.
Right.
But I loved it, but it's not super rewatchable. It's not something that's for me specifically, but I really appreciated like what he did with it. I think if any other director did that movie, I think it would be terrible. Yeah, just wouldn't be a good movie.
Awful.
Like maybe Inarritu could do that, but I don't think anyone else.
Yeah. All right, cool. So yeah, kind of just jump into the next film, The Prestige. Obviously one of Nolan's earlier works. If I'm not mistaken, this was his first like real blockbuster, right? After Memento.
Yes. Memento really opened the doors for him. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Prestige came out in 2006.
Yeah. So this really picked it up. Obviously, you see that in the cast too, real star-studded cast coming in here. But
Begins came out in 2005. Sorry to interrupt you.
So obviously, it follows two rival Victorian London magicians, Robert Angier and Alfred Borden, and their kind of obsession with creating the ultimate trick. Right? They're going back and forth with each other, trying to become the better magician, and then ultimately, it leads to this teleportation illusion that leads to tragic mutual destruction of both of them. This is based off of a novel. Funny enough, the novel is kind of based off the feud between Nikola Tesla and Thomas Edison. Thank you. And so it's funny how this kind of carried over time from adaptation to adaptation to adaptation to get this. But I think it was a really cool movie, a really cool idea following these magicians. I haven't really seen anything like this before.
I love this movie, man. Oh my gosh. Man, I've been trying to get Sam to watch this for so long, and I got asked to do this podcast, and I was like, dude, I'm inviting Sam to do this.
Yeah.
Because like he has to watch the movie. Then we watched it together.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, man, I love this film. First time I watched it with my brother. I forget how old I was, but I think I was like the perfect age. I was like 15. Like this is like such a like. You're like so shocked by the ending. It got Sam. Sam didn't even know.
I didn't know. I didn't know.
I'm 24, dude, and I felt that way. So, like, dude, yeah. I mean, it definitely, after watching it, it's become definitely probably in my top 3 for sure from him. I mean, it was incredible, and it was really fun watching it with this guy, man, because like you could see. Like we're watching the movie, and like it's like that stereotypical where like he's like looking at me,
antsy,
like
dude. I'm like looking at him,
and he wants to see me like react to it, and like it was really fun, and like, and I think towards the end I did kind of start to figure it out at the end, and I remember being like, dude, like when towards the end of the movie when he's in the jail, when Borden's in the jail, and what's his name? Is it Fletcher? Or his like
His sidekick, basically.
yeah.
Yeah.
I forget his name, but and I start to you're like realizing like, man, he doesn't really talk and like and all that and then at the end I started to piece together when he hugs his daughter, and I was like, wait a minute, wait a minute,
Yeah.
wait a
Dude,
minute.
he said that like 15 minutes before like the reveal.
Before
He's
the
like, dude, this
reveal,
guy
yeah.
doesn't talk. And I was like, just trying to hold it in. I was
Yeah.
trying to hold it together.
It was really fun, man. That was awesome.
Yeah. Kind of getting into that, the characters, I gave it an 8. I thought the characters were really well done and fleshed out here. Even getting into the side characters, I mean, really, I know the main actors is Christian Bale and Hugh Jackman. That's stacked enough for any movie. But then you get into Michael Caine, his character's super drawn out. Scarlett Johansson's character's super drawn out.
Mm.
I thought it was a really well done movie when it came to the characters.
Yeah, I
agree. I thought they did great. Yeah, I'll give it a 9. I think
too.
Borden and Angier like working off each other was incredible. You have Michael Caine as kind of like the
middleman.
They're older. Yeah, like he's literally perfect for that role. I mean, Scarlett Johansson as like a helper for shows. That's like, who else would you want? Andy Serkis is like perfect for his role.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't think of any that. He looks like someone who used to do that. like tiny and got the old man like British look. So I don't know. I think they did great with the characters.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think Borden is a perfect character. Christian Bale plays him very well, and I think characters like that very well. He gives like he has a very like mysterious and restrained like quality when he's playing him, which kind of like it kind of tricked me in the movie. Like I definitely went back and forth in the movie, like who I thought was like the asshole, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which it kind of does too. Like I remember being like Borden's a dick, and then like being like, you know, Angier's a dick and whatever, and kind of going back and forth. And I think Christian Bale's performance does that because, you know, where like I felt that way was just because he doesn't give you, he is very mysterious in his performance, and like he doesn't really show a lot to, so you're kind of just like wary of like his motivations and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And like whereas Angier's more ambitious, emotional, and like you can definitely see like his obsession come out a lot more, and which makes like their the conflict a lot more believable. And like I think Christian Bale plays it. It kind of reminds me a little bit of him playing Batman. You know, obviously like a year before this, where like him as he's very reserved and very kind of like keeps things close to the chest, which I think he does in both of these movies. And I think that gives his character a lot more like depth of like where you as like the viewer have to like kind of like really pay attention to what he does to get, because like with Hugh Jackman, you know what Hugh Jackman wants. Like he wants to be the best magician, which they both kind of want, but like he's a lot more outspoken about it, and like his motivation's a lot more outspoken. Where with Christian Bale, you kind of have to guess more, which kind of like keeps you on your toes, and like really not, you have like it's really hard for you to expect what's going to happen, which makes the movie a lot more fun. So I thought he killed it as Borden for sure. I think everyone really did, but that in particular, the way he plays a character really kind of made it his own, which I liked.
Yeah.
A lot.
Getting into cinematography, I gave it a 7. That might surprise people, but I hate these gray movies. I know that was the intent for this, to make a super like noir styled film, but I can't help but compare it to other Nolan movies that use a lot more like different colors in the color grading. So I had to knock it a little bit there. But other than that, I did like the art style. It's kind of like this retro tech kind of noir. I don't even know what you call it.
Victorian era. Yeah. Almost like kind of like how the Sherlock Holmes movies.
Yeah.
With Robert Downey Jr., like that kind of futuristic yet old. It's kind of like that steampunk almost.
Yeah.
But not too much. You kind of see it in like a good example of it in The Prestige was the new machine that Michael Caine makes for the bird disappearing, and he has like that whole like back piece with all the gears and like retractable stuff and all that. Like I thought that was a really cool like, you know, like stylistic choice and all that, where like it's very mechanical but yet like futuristic at the same time, which is like makes sense of like something in that period. Like if there was some like kind of futuristic technology like that is like what it would look like. I thought that was a good example of that. It was really cool. But yeah, I would agree. I think that the cinematography isn't really the strong point of the movie, because which I think is kind of like understandable because really this movie is really carried by the plot and like the storytelling aspect, which carries it like incredibly. I mean, the nonlinear storytelling, I think this is like one of the best examples of Nolan's trademark of that. The like Nolan presents the story in that way, like moving between the different periods and perspectives, which kind of keeps you always guessing, and which kind of makes the plot a little difficult to follow. But the confusion of that jumping around is like definitely intentional, and it almost like the way that the movie is set up like that is like the magic trick itself, right? Is like that misdirection in magic tricks. Like if I was like visually like doing a card trick, like all that misdirection and all that, it's almost doing the exact same thing to you as a viewer with that jumping around. And then like, and obviously with the name being the Prestige, like in the end of like that big reveal at the end is the Prestige of the movie. It's like the whole movie is one big magic trick in itself, which I think is like that's just like that's 11 out of 10 for me. You know what I mean? Like that's just incredible, bro. And like so yeah, I think that does carry like a lot of like what you said, like the kind of like the weaker parts of the cinematography kind of makes it not as noticeable when all that is going on.
What'd you think of the cinematography, Hayden?
I wouldn't be so harsh just to give it a 7. I'd give it an 8. I think Nolan does a really good job at transition shots, especially when you're dealing with like close conflicts or like something's like sudden changes, or like, for example, like he does a really good job at hiding the fact that they're like dressing up as each other and like raiding each other's kind of events and trying to sabotage each other. I think he did a really good job of putting them on screen obvious enough without you being able to notice them, even though they're like the main characters in the movie. Like if you rewatch that stuff, they're so easy to spot. But since you're focused on the main act and it's kind of its own cool little cinematography thing. Like you're focused on the main act, even though he's in the picture, like you don't see him. It's kind of like its own little magic trick in cinematography. I thought that was really good. I think Nikola Tesla's like house, I thought some really cool shots from there. But I don't, like Sam said, I don't think that was the main takeaway from this movie. I think this movie, its plot points, and even, I think we're about to get into it, even its sound design was incredible.
Yeah. With the sound design, I thought it was really well done, especially in the soundtrack too. I thought it was really good. Composed by an English musician by the name of David Chulayan. I don't know if I've heard of him before, but I did really enjoy the soundtrack, and the overall sound design of the film was really well done.
Yeah, I'll since I was just talking about it. Yeah, when they did the Transported Man, I believe that's what it's called, the Illusion of the Transported Man. When he did the original one, Borden did the original one, like the sound design with the ball bouncing and everyone getting quiet and the doors shutting, just unbelievable. I think that is when you really realize like this movie, like he just stepped up his game. It's about to get serious. Like how did he do that? Like we were doing like bird tricks and cages and killing birds and fooling people, but now we're, he was just in that room and now he's not. Like you got to understand the time frame the time that this is in. This is like,
it's mind blowing.
Like, there's no technology. The fact that Tesla is even like has light bulbs is incredible for the era. So it was just, really good sound design. I wasn't too familiar with like the composer you said, the British guy. I'm not too sure who he is, but he did a good job. And I just think the times where it gets quiet and it gets really loud in this movie are just build on the suspense really well.
I think I love to like go off of that because I think that's like something I feel like should be utilized in movies more. It really, really, really like puts you on the edge of the seat as a viewer, is like when sound drops out on a film, and like it really sucks you in almost because like it's another sense of your like perspective that you get to like use, is because obviously it's a movie, like so it's visually based, but using that audio can really take scenes to a next level. Like me and Hayden talk about it a lot, but in the Kingsman.
I'll look up the specific.
I believe it's a third movie. I think it's called The King's Man, which is like the prequel.
Yeah, The King's Man.
It's set in like World War I. There's a scene there where they are like basically going across no man's land out of the trenches, and it just goes completely silent. And I remember it was like awe inspiring.
In theaters,
like it was
In theaters,
incredible.
it's just unreal. Yeah, I
And
can't. I
there's
wasn't expecting that out of that
no,
movie, but wow, that's one of the best theater experiences I
yeah,
ever had. Just that quiet
just that
moment when
one
they were
scene.
crawling. It was so quiet in the theater,
Yeah,
and they were crawling in the trenches.
silent.
It's like almost pitch black. Like they're crawling in the trenches, and then
It was
they just like go at it, and then
just
everyone's
start
going
knifing
at
each
it.
other.
Yeah,
And
but there's still no music. There's nothing.
Yeah,
You can just hear everything, and it's
yeah,
just it
and
felt so real.
it's nice to like, not every scene needs like a huge score behind it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I definitely think there's parts of the movie that like that they did that, and it definitely helps a lot. And also like the sound design of the electrical, like the actual machine, and like the lightning, like zerps and like all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like dude, that stuff, it felt real. You know what I mean? And I enjoyed quite a bit of how they did that. And I actually have a question for you. I don't know if it was a good time or not, but one of the points of that movie where he's asking him like, "What knot did you tie?" And he says, "I don't know." Do you think he knew?
I don't know, because I was at that point in the time, like you talked about how you keep flip-flopping. Like I genuinely felt bad for him. I was like, he's a good guy. Like he's just in a bad situation. And then he started becoming an asshole.
He's like an asshole.
And I was like, actually, maybe he did know.
Yeah.
That
Dude,
was a good point to it. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, and it's kind of like, it's hard to like say. And I do kind of think that's like, because by the end of the movie, you're like, okay, like Borden's a good guy, like kind of thing, like where, like that's the way it kind of ends, is like because you're kind of wrestling back and forth the whole movie, like who you really want to root for, right? And then by the end, like that's how you are. But like that was something that left with me, was at the end, was I did feel that way, but then I'm like remembering, I'm like, wait a minute, like this all started because of that. And like I feel like you kind of forget about it, and you're like, wait a minute, like did he know what knot he was tying? And like you know what I mean? And I don't know, I just thought that was kind of a cool part that like got left.
I'm sure somebody on Reddit has gone back and figured out what knot it was.
I'm pretty sure he changed the knot. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they take the camera away, but he untied the original one.
Yeah.
Right. And then he started to do a different one, which you would imply that he changed the knot if he's going to untie it.
But then he lies, right? Because he's saying, I don't know, right? Which is like, but like as a viewer, you don't know because they don't show you, right? So like, it kind of, even though like by the end you're like, okay, this is the good guy of the film, but like that still stuck with me. I'm like, is he really though? Because like,
I mean, he that is an intense moment, and someone is dying, and that might
it's his
not
wife
be on
though.
your
I mean, it's
head
like
at
the
the
catalyst for this whole movie, right? Because like after that moment, that's when their rivalry started. Like, and it is off of him making that decision whether or not he did. And as a viewer, you don't know if he did change it or not. But I just thought that was a really big part that's kind of just left up in the air as a plot point, which I just thought that was. I just wanted to get your thought on that as well.
So with the set design, I gave it an 8. Like I said, it was a little bit gray for me, but I did a little bit of reading. The filmmakers were trying to go for, instead of like a stuffy period drama look, they were attempting to make a Victorian version of like an industrial Tokyo, which I thought was pretty cool. It's such a neat way to kind of go about, like we kind of talked about the whole punk, or I wouldn't say like steampunk design, I guess. I thought it was really interesting. But what do you guys think of the overall set design and the buildings and stuff?
I don't know, Hayden, do you want to go first, or?
Yeah. I mean, it's set in old times. It was made in 2006. Probably started filming maybe a year before that. I think they did great. I mean, the old stages look great. They looked really good. They obviously used a couple of different ones, which I think is great. Like they weren't just going back to the same town, same stage. Like, they used like 4, I believe. Maybe it might have been 3 or 4. I think that's really cool. You see movies like this nowadays, and everyone, especially when it's like set in old time, they keep going back to the same location to keep doing their stuff. And I liked it. I'd give it an 8 as well. I feel like that's fair.
I would. I like kind of like the subtlety of the like actual set pieces of like the background things. So like I think the best set pieces in the movie are where the magic is done. It kind of gives you that window into like behind the scenes of production, like what it would take to do magic at that time, like especially like with like the underneath stuff. So like the trap doors and like the falling underneath the stage and the tanks and like all the stuff that like goes into, especially when it's Algier or Angier is like trying to replicate the teleporting trick, and like how they have like the 2 doors with the trapdoors underneath and like all like the like mechanics underneath the stage and stuff like that. And then Borden's apartment, I thought was a really good set piece of the scenes that are in there. It very much looks like a magician's apartment from the Victorian era, like all like the like alchemy bottles everywhere and like little like like knickknacks and like stuff he does for tricks is all in there. And like you could tell like it kind of gives you that visualization of the obsession that these guys have, where it's like they're every minute of every day is trying to like become the best at what they do and outperform the other ones. And so like of course like his whole like apartment is just filled with like everything magic and all that. So you can tell like all he does is like, and especially like when he meets that girl, I forget her name, his first like love interest, and like he like tries to go inside and like she doesn't let him, and then like she comes in and like he's already inside the apartment or whatever. So like obviously he's got like some trapdoor situation, like which like why would he even need that? You know what I mean? But like it just shows you like that's like all he does,
Yeah.
which was cool. I think like Michael Caine's like dude the set piece of like where the machine is in that like box.
Yeah.
And it's just sitting in like that attic space, like linear kind of back room space, like gives it that mystery of like what is in there, like because you don't know. I thought that looked really good, and like every scene in there was very like suspenseful. I thought it was good. I think the city looks good. I mean, realistically, like I feel like a lot of the time you spend in the movie really isn't in the open city too much. A lot of it's spent inside of like theaters and like venues and like little rooms
Workshops
and
and
apartments.
homes.
Yeah. And all that, which, I kind of liked it. It kind of gave more emphasis on like the actual story and not just like we're in London, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Running around and all that. Like, so I thought it was good. I thought it was good.
Yeah.
I mean,
Getting into the acting, I gave it a 9 here. Obviously, kind of headlined by Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale. I think they were both pretty masterful in this. Like we said, their acting is just such a good back and forth with your kind of internal dialogue with yourself throughout this film, trying to decide who's the good guy, who's the bad guy at the end of the story.
yeah.
And to me, I mean, in the end, I think both of them are bad guys. That's what I kind of took away from it. But just that whole time, their incredible acting really built these really strong characters, which made this movie so amazing.
Yeah, I'm gonna steal that from you. 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Man, if you have Christian Bale and Hugh Jackman and you get to the end of that movie and you don't know which one is supposed to be the good guy or the bad guy, I think that's peak movie right there.
Yeah.
Got Michael Caine playing his old fashioned role. You got Rebecca Hall did an amazing job
Yes.
playing Borden's wife.
Yes.
Incredible, super underrated actor or actress. Sorry, Andy Serkis is amazing.
Oh my
Scarlett
God.
Johansson. I mean, I don't think anyone else could have played that role better. Yeah, I think this was 10 out of 10. I don't think it gets better than that.
Yeah. I mean, especially, I think I'd agree with you in 10 out of 10 acting because realistically, I mean, the movie, like, there's not a lot of like crazy action set pieces or like, huge spectacles. The boatload of the movie is carried on the acting and the writing and the character development. And it had me completely engaged from start to finish and all that, which, is kind of a hard thing to do movie wise, there were like, when the actual tricks are being performed, obviously that's like the action, I guess, in the film. But like, that's like, there's a lot of stuff that goes on between those, and it's still just as exciting because that like the movie itself is a trick. And so like you're trying to pay attention to everything. And that's just to me, that's 10 out of 10 writing and like from a screenplay perspective, it's hard to like make two people in a room talking like just as exciting as shit blowing up in front of you or whatever, and like cosmic fights or whatever. I mean, it's just yeah, it's a 10 for me, man. I mean, I can't really put into words like how good it was, because especially with something like Interstellar, acting in Interstellar is great, but like there's a lot of like weight of the movie is carried with the spectacle, like with the like space travel, with like all that kind of stuff behind it. where like, you don't get a lot of that in this movie, but to me, I think they're on par with how good they are, which, speaks a lot about this film and like the writing and the acting
Yeah.
in this for sure.
Before you wrap it up, just I forgot to mention David Bowie played Nikola Tesla, and he was fantastic too. So
Yeah,
I didn't realize that was him. Holy
That
shit.
is David Bowie.
David Bowie. Yeah,
That's
incredible.
crazy.
Yeah, actually, another good point of that. Now that I really thought about this as soon as you said in the introduction of this about how this story is kind of like a metaphor for the rivalry between Edison and Tesla, which made me realize, like thinking about it, they kind of touch on that in the movie, where like when Angier is in, where's he at? Is he in Colorado?
Yeah,
Right?
something like that. Colorado
Yeah.
Springs.
There is like that looming like aspect of Edison, because they bring that up, Edison's men, and like Edison has like this gang task force almost like hunting Tesla and all that, and when he does get, like metaphorically, it kind of like they kind of personify that when Angier does finally get the machine, we see Edison's men burn down Tesla's like lab and all of his stuff and everything, and they finally like catch up to him, which kind of like yeah, definitely kind of symbolizes like Angier is Edison, while like, I'm sorry, Borden is the Tesla of the story,
Yeah.
which I kind of didn't really pick up on until you said that, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Getting into theme, obviously theme is such a huge thing in this movie.
Yeah.
Biggest one being the destructive nature of rivalry, right? They both are are just obsessed with going after each other and their own personal identities. And then obviously the personal cost in your personal life of kind of wanting to meet perfection and art. And this movie, their art is the art of illusion, right? Being magicians. Such a big thing in this movie, but obviously there's a bunch of different themes you could dive into this one. So what'd you guys think?
Yeah, discussing rivalry obviously is probably like the main theme of the movie. When talking about that, I feel like, yeah, it was more about the destruction from the rivalry rather than the competitive nature of the rivalry. I feel like that was more of the theme rather than how competitive can these guys be. I think Nolan really cared about showing like what is happening into these guys' lives because of this, and how they're changing as individuals and how their families are changing. Yeah, I don't know if I'll let you go, Sam.
Yeah, I mean, so obviously like the central theme is obsession. They become like so focused on defeating each other that, yeah, like you were saying, they're sacrificing almost everything else in their lives. I mean, if you think about it, Borden's plan in the end does work, right? But like, if you think about where he is, like he's on death row waiting to be hanged while he has like a child who's, like, I mean, if any part of his plan went wrong, like he would be hanged, killed, and his child would be, like he'd be giving up all of that kind of stuff. And then obviously, like Angier, he gives up everything in his own life too, like with his love interest after. I mean, he develops like a relationship with Scarlett Johansson, and he kind of just shoves that in the trash by when he asks her to basically like go and spy on Borden. And it really shows like how much like he doesn't actually care about her. Like his only goal is what he wants, and he kind of just uses her and all that. Which, if you think about it, like she like was there for him after, the death of his fiance and all that. It kind of just shows you like the kind of man he is, which is, one that's obsessed with not only like the trick or like trying to be the better magician, but just obsessed with himself, right? And I think Borden is kind of like, instead of, he's also obsessed with the trick, but he's not obsessed with himself. He's obsessed with defeating Angier and basically like holding up the mirror of his own self-destruction and making him destroy himself. And I don't know, they kind of plays off very well with each other. And it kind of just like examines like the relationship between truth and illusion. And then, because, we talked about that, like throughout the movie, you're really kind of wondering, like, you wrestle with like, who's the good guy, who's the bad guy, like who's doing what and what's real and what's not. And it kind of asks the question of the audience of like, do you actually want to know the truth, or would you rather be just like simply like, amazed by the spectacle, And I mean, it's just such a deep film when it comes to like the writing and the plot actually, and it just makes to me like that's what makes a movie. Like that's
Yeah.
a movie to me, man. Is just like the provoking thought out of the audience, like making you think and like really analyze like what's going on screen. And like honestly, I probably am gonna watch that movie another 2-3 times just to like I'm sure there's all kinds of things that I missed, from like only watching it once. So yeah, I mean, I think I'd give that a 10 out of 10. I think this is like the peak of movie writing. This is like if I was to go to a film class and they were like go write a script, I would probably use this as an inspiration for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I gave it an 8. I think obviously, like you kind of just talked about, it mirrors the structure of a magic trick through the film itself, which is just super, super cool. Such an interesting way to go about filmmaking. What do you think about the overall editing, Hayden?
Yeah, I thought it was great. Especially the gun scene. Like that was done super well. Like the way they like showed loading it in and like he took out the thing, and so it was like a loaded weapon. Not only that, but like every time like someone would fall through the like I hate when movies like someone like falls and like the timing is off. You can just tell like that is not like when they would have fell. I feel like they timed him falling through the door and landing on the bag like perfectly every time. So yeah, I thought it was great. I don't think this movie has any misses. You're asking someone. This has been in my top 5 since I
Yeah.
saw it. So, I love this movie.
I think the editing is definitely a 10, which speaks a lot about it because the way that this movie is done, you kind of need the editing to be a 10 for this to be as good. If it wasn't, I don't know if this movie we'd be holding it in the same like conversation that we are now, which really kind of like tells you about how much editing does affect a movie. You could really do everything right, and then if the editing room, decisions are made that like that could really tank how a
Yeah.
movie does. And I think they nailed it, and I think they needed to nail it, and they did. And I mean, I can't imagine, like it really playing out any other way than it did. It definitely made the movie for sure. It's spectacular. Not like Hayden said, there's not a lot of bad with this movie for sure. Not a lot done wrong, in my opinion.
Yeah, overall enjoyment, I gave it an 8. I'd say mainly I gave it an 8 because coming into this, I'm not like that into magic at all, and like not really I'm not a big period piece person. So when I initially saw this, I was like, oh, this might drag for me. But it was pleasantly surprising. A really fun film. I didn't know about the twist, so yeah, pretty electric for me at the end. I was like, what is going on? How did I miss this? But leading me to overall score of an 8.2. Again, not my per se cup of tea when it comes to Nolan. I'm more of a space sci-fi guy, but this one really pleasantly surprised me. I was shocked how high I was on this.
Yeah, I'll say overall enjoyment for me. I maybe put that at a 9. I don't know how to scale that. I don't want to keep giving it 10s everywhere. It's not like a perfect movie, but it's pretty darn good. For my overall score, it'd probably be I'm in between a 9 flat and like an 8-9. I really like this one. Obviously you can't rate a movie a 10 because you never know if you're gonna see one better. So
Sure.
I think giving it somewhere around 9 is fair. That's just my opinion though. I'll let you go, Sam.
Dude, overall, I would say, I'd be in the ballpark with you. I'd say this is like a 9.5 for me. To be honest, I'd if I could give it a 10, I probably would. Honestly,
Give it a
I
10,
think
man. Nobody's stopping you.
I'd give it a 10, man. I give it a 10. I'll give it a 10. I mean, dude, like if other movies come around that are 10s, they can be 10s too. I mean, I don't think this is the greatest movie of all time or whatever, but like out of enjoyment, you know what I mean? It's a overall enjoyment. That's a 10 for me, man. I mean, from start to finish, like, I was completely engaged. The twist, the acting, like, I mean, the writing, the fact that the whole movie is one big magic trick. And I mean, to me, that's what I expect out of a movie. I want to be, it should be like a, a ride that you never want to get off of. And like,
Yeah.
that's kind of how I felt with this. And just, it kind of like The Dark Knight. I think it was very similar to The Dark Knight, to be honest, with the way that the writing was in the storytelling and the nonlinear. And I think I think The Dark Knight and The Prestige are probably the best examples of Nolan's nonlinear storytelling, and I think that's why. I mean, if you talk to most people, like The Dark Knight is in their top 3 movies. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I think that has to do with exactly what this movie does as well. It's the same thing. It's completely engaging and thought provoking and fun. And I was kind of like you. I was exactly just like you. That's the reason I hadn't seen it.
Mhm.
Was because like I looked at I looked at the era, the time era, and like I also just didn't really know much about it, and it just kind of turned. I was just like, oh, this is gonna be something I have to like sit through. You know what I mean? So like when Hayden was like, all right, we gotta like watch this for this pot, like use this as. I was like, all right, like fine, like I'm down, and like I was blown away with how amazing it was. I mean, like it was incredible. I loved it. I loved it. I really think this is probably, yeah, top 3 Nolan movie. I mean, this and Dark Knight and Interstellar, I think is his best work for sure. I mean,
Cool.
I can't think of how to do. I mean, realistically, it's like the reason I want to give it a 10 is because like if there was something that could be done better for this movie, I don't know what it is. I don't think there's like if you know, tell me because I couldn't tell you. You know what I mean? I think everything's done just as good or if not better than it could have been. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was great.
Awesome. Well, yeah. So next we'll transition into doing a Christopher Nolan draft. So this will
Yes.
be a snake style draft. Kind of imagine that you're doing like a fantasy football draft, filling the positions, except we're going to do it with actors, soundtrack, and objects from all of Christopher Nolan's movies. So we'll have 6 categories. It'll be lead actor, actress, because he doesn't have any lead actresses yet, supporting actress, object. So this can be anything. An example would be like the Batmobile, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then soundtrack. So just pick your favorite soundtrack from. You can still pick the Batmobile. Don't worry.
No, I just like that category. That's cool. Like,
Yeah.
that's a tough one.
The soundtrack is obviously just your favorite soundtrack from Nolan that you would take. And then wild card can be literally anything from any of the other categories. So I went ahead and spun a wheel beforehand. So Sam will go first. And then Hayden, then me, I'll have 2 picks because of Snake, back to Hayden, and then Sam, and we'll just keep going. Don't feel like you have to pick the categories in order either. You can take them wherever you want. So Sam, if you want to start, you can get the first pick.
For sure. Let me see. Yeah, I would say for supporting actors, are we doing how many? Can I do 1, 2, or
No. You just take one. You take one
just take one?
supporting actor
One
from
supporting actor?
any of his movies. Yeah.
Well, yeah, dude, Michael Caine, easy.
Okay.
I
Which
can't.
movie
I
would you
mean,
pick?
from
Alfred?
probably nah. I mean, dude, obviously that's like very obvious choice. I don't know. I like him in Interstellar a lot
Okay.
too. I think that's kind of overlooked. He kind of gives like the emotional weight to that movie
Yeah.
a lot, and yeah, I'd say Interstellar. Michael
Perfect. I
Caine.
think Hayden thinks that the 101 just fell to him at the 102 spot.
Wow, man! I just got Michael Jordan at number 2. Look, we got LeBron at number 2. Give me Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight for supporting actor. Wow, I love Michael Caine, but wow,
Well, yeah.
He's excited.
dude,
Yeah.
I thought he said supporting actor. I'm like,
I mean, dude, you can really pick. All of them are great, man. I mean,
yeah.
for sure.
I swore when you said supporting actor, you were gonna
That's
say
what I was
Heath
gonna go
Ledger.
for.
Yeah.
All right. I got 2 picks here. So I'm going to go ahead and take my lead actress. Might seem early, might seem like recency bias, but I'm going to go ahead and take Anne Hathaway from the Odyssey. Let me write that down. Yeah, I really liked her role in this, and I think it's one of the best actresses he's had in any of his movies. Obviously, there's some other great ones, but one of my favorites from Odyssey. And then for lead actor, actually supporting. Wait, I'm supporting. I got time for that. Soundtrack,
Yeah.
I'm going to take Interstellar.
Nice grab. That's a great pick.
Yeah, I had to get that one. I feel like
All
that's
right,
the
I think-
101 of that category, but
Yeah, I was in between that one or lead actor. I think I have to take Christian Bale as Batman for lead actor.
yeah, I think you just take the Dark Knight all the way through.
I think I'll get at least one Instagram vote comment for Hayden with that lineup.
And so wait, so am I leading, or I can just
Yep.
pick anyone?
You
Yeah,
can
you
pick any
get
of
2
them. Yeah,
picks. You get 2 picks.
Okay. So yeah, so supporting, I have Michael Caine. I'd say leading actor. Man, give me I like Yeah, give me Tom Hardy. Give me Tom Hardy's
From
Bane.
okay.
I mean, Tom Hardy is an amazing actor. I think he is fantastic. I think what he did with Bane was incredible.
Yeah, I like it too.
Yeah, definitely. Give me Tom Hardy. I think he's
Cool,
very
cool.
versatile.
And
And
then you
then
got another pick too. Yep.
score. Give me Oppenheimer's score. Or did you take
Yeah.
that already?
No, that's good.
Yeah, give me Oppenheimer's score. That was incredible.
Definitely up there. And then Hayden, whenever you're ready.
All right. Kind of I kind of got mine stolen there again. But now I don't need to do that because I have all day. You guys took yours, so I kind of got thrown off here a little bit.
You're
Yeah.
good.
I'm trying to think. I want to answer this in the best way possible. Because, yeah, Batmobile is really cool, but if I could have the original atom bomb from Oppenheimer, I think that's a pretty valuable asset.
I think you beat all of us no matter what we pick next.
Yeah, I'm going to take the original atom bomb.
Sick. All right. And then I got two here. So I think I'm going to go ahead and take Robert Downey Jr. from Oppenheimer.
Wow, great choice.
He won Best Oscar for Best Supporting Actor in this year, so kind of hard not to take him here. And then for lead actor, it's kind of up in the air for me at this point. Obviously, you guys took two great ones, but I think I'm going to take Matthew McConaughey from Interstellar.
I love him.
Yeah, so amazing.
Man,
He's one of my
Russ
favorites.
Cole,
So
me too. Tidbit on that, actually. Do you listen to audiobooks at all?
I don't, but I would if it's his.
It is his. It's called Green Lights.
Okay.
And it's his like personal, like almost like memoir, but like it's also like has to do with like his like personal like philosophy on life and stuff.
Does he narrate it?
He does narrate it, and
Okay,
it
I'm in.
has to do with like his dude. I listen to it. It's incredible. I can't recommend it enough, honestly. Like also it has to do with like his like life leading up to like how he got into like acting in Hollywood, his family,
Yeah.
and like and then once he was there, like all the stuff that like he did and his like take on life with like green lights, yellow lights, red lights, which is like how he equates like things happening in life and like what they mean. You should very much listen to it. It's narrated by him. It's incredible. I loved it.
I think I've told the story on the podcast before, but my dad's coworker, he actually was roommates with McConaughey at University of Texas. They're still friends.
That's cool.
So my dad's coworker basically woke up hungover as shit, and he had a role for Levi's jeans. He was supposed to go in and do a shoot with them.
Shut up.
And then he is like, I can't do it today. Just go tell him you're me. You can keep the money. Like, I just don't want to not show up.
I wonder if he talks about it in the book.
Yeah, I'm sure he does because he sent
might.
McConaughey there, and then he ended up getting into different kinds of acting after that. But
yeah, I know. He was going to school for. I think he was trying to be a lawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was. Yeah, dude, you gotta listen to the book. It's really cool how he like kind of like found his passion and stuff like that, and like took a chance on acting. Yeah, I definitely give that a listen, man. It was great. I'm not even a huge book guy, and like that was like I was listening to it, like really couldn't stop. Yeah, I mean, I probably finished. I think it was like 8 hours long. I probably finished it in like 2 days. It was fantastic. But I guess is it my turn or
Hayden's turn?
What do I have left? Just supporting actress,
actress, soundtrack, and wild card.
And wild card. Okay, so probably save the wild card. Actually, no, I'm not going to save the wild card. So the wild card can be any of those.
Anything. Correct? Yeah, or even if there's something
like
other strange. Piece. Yeah, you could take whatever you wanted. Christopher Nolan's world is your ocean.
I'm trying to get a little outside the box answer here. I'll take the totem from Inception, the spinning top.
Yeah.
See, that was on my mind too. That's funny.
It just keeps snaking between you two, right? Or do I get another one?
No, he gets
I have
two.
I have 3 left.
Yeah, he gets 2 picks here, and then he'll have the last pick when it comes back.
All right.
Okay.
I'm going to say, so my object, give me TARS.
Damn.
Give me TARS.
That's fire, bro. That's way better than the stupid spinning top.
No, I saw my wild card. I saw my wild card. That's my object. TARS is my object for sure. Man, I mean, bro, that movie, like his TARS is so freaking cool. Oh my God, I loved him, dude. The way he moves, dude. That scene when they're on the water planet and he like like splits into a bunch of rectangles and like rolls. Like, bro, that shit was so cool. I love his voice too. I believe who voices him. I think he's a really good voice actor. Is it Alan Tudyk? I don't know.
I don't know.
It's okay if I look that up or
Yeah, go ahead.
okay, it's Bill Irwin. I don't know. I remember. He also did the puppetry for him too. Yeah, like when he's when they're in the fourth dimension, like he's like talking with dude. I don't know his voice and just
So
like his
good.
cadence and stuff. It's really good acting from a guy who's supposed to be a robot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Dude, I love Tars. I love the design of Tars. Such a cool addition to that movie. I mean,
all right, and you get one more pick here.
let me do supporting actress.
I should have picked mine. Damn it.
Give me.
Thought he already did that.
Give me Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Dude. I'm gonna recreate the Stephen A. clip.
Which
I don't believe she's the love interest. I don't believe it. Christian Bale, are you kidding me? You're not fooling anybody.
Yeah, what a crazy thing to say on national television.
Dude, so funny, man.
Times have changed, man. They were doing an ESPN segment, man. How does that even come up? It comes to me after that, right?
Yep, your turn.
I'll take Kitty, played by Emily Blunt.
Yeah.
And Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
That's a good one. All right, let's see here. I have my object and my wild card, and I've been debating if I should take two objects like Hayden did. My first one, I'm going to take the Endurance, the spaceship from Interstellar.
I thought I was thinking outside the box. I think I went in the box.
Bro, you went in the box and locked yourself inside. Yeah, I think I'm going to do it just because it's I got to take it from the movie we did this week. So for my wild card, I'm going to take the Magic Machine.
Wow, yeah. It's a good idea.
So not only can I clone myself, I can fly to anywhere I want.
Pretty
But
cool.
yeah, back to Hayden for the soundtrack.
Can't do that if I bend time and go back and change my answers.
And drop a nuke on my ship.
Hey, what do I have left? I have one more, right?
You have soundtrack.
I have soundtrack. Okay. Ooh, you guys took the best ones. Nice. Off the
There's
top of my
one
mind,
more I like.
Yeah, off the top of my mind, I think I just don't like that movie though. I'll take
Also a
Inception. I
brand
feel
new
like that
one.
was. Oh, should I take
Inception's
it? Hold
good.
on. Yeah, that's when he first started working with Hans Zimmer. So
Yeah.
I believe doesn't get much better than that. Meeting the goat.
And then Sam, your last pick is your wild card, so you can do anything here.
Mm-hmm.
You can take Odysseus's bow only if you think you can actually string it.
He's so funny because I was thinking that too. I was just thinking
Bro's
about that.
gonna get a bow he can't use.
Man,
It's like getting Thor's
Wow.
hammer. Something to look at.
A nice paperweight.
Yeah. Can't even put the picture under it.
terrible. Wow. These are good. I'm trying to think, man. There's a lot
Did
to
anyone
choose
take the
from.
Batmobile? Was that like not cool enough?
Oh, yeah, we didn't take it.
Mm,
Or the bat
That's like-
suit.
That's like a Tom Brady pick, dude. Like last in the draft might win you the whole Super Bowl there.
Or a batarang. Or anything Batman.
Nah, Batarang.
Or the suit.
The grapple gun. That's pretty. He has a spaceship too. You could take his spaceship. He did build one, but it got blown up.
Give me the Bat Cave.
All right. Sick.
Give me the lair.
I lost. I just straight up lost, dude.
I was thinking about all the different Batman objects. I never thought to just take the Batcave, which has all the
yeah,
Batman
I'll just
objects.
get his house.
I want it.
Just get his house in the cave underneath. Yeah.
The Wayne Manor.
Yeah. I'll take the whole kit and caboodle, buddy. Please.
All right. If you guys want to read through your teams real quick, Sam, you can start if you want since you went first.
Sure. I got supporting actor Michael Caine, leading Tom Hardy, score Oppenheimer, my object Tars, wildcard Batcave, and then supporting actress is Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Cool.
I did not write mine down, so I'm gonna try my best.
I can read it if you want.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's just do that.
Hayden for leading actor, he took Christian Bale from The Dark Knight. Actress, Emily Blunt and Oppenheimer. Supporting, he took Heath Ledger, The Dark Knight. Object, he took The Literal Atom Bomb. Soundtrack, he took Inception. And then wildcard, he took The Totem from Inception, maybe the weakest pick of the draft.
Dude, I can bend time,
Maybe the
bro.
weakest pick of the
Whatever.
draft. Yeah, but the
in your
totem just
pocket.
tells you if you're dreaming or not. It's not like the actual machine that does that does the Inception.
No, but like you need one for the other. And it's cool. What if you had the actual thing? Okay,
Yeah,
I can just bomb you. I got the atom bomb.
Hayden really got the
Bomb your
paperweight.
cave.
Well, obviously the Batcave is fortified for.
So I took for lead actor, I took McConaughey from Interstellar. Actress, I took Anne Hathaway from Odyssey. Supporting, I took RDJ as Oppenheimer. Object, I took the Endurance, the spaceship from Interstellar. Soundtrack, I took Interstellar. And then wild card, I took the Magic Machine from The Prestige.
Yeah.
Cool.
I should have just drafted all Batman. Should have taken Batmobile and Catwoman and called it a day. That would have been better.
Somebody would have liked it.
Catwoman.
Yeah, right? Like, I just went like full Batman draft.
Not even the actress that plays Catwoman, just Catwoman.
Nah, Anne Hathaway or Halle. Well, I mean, I guess that's not Nolan.
Yeah.
They're all great. Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, thanks for coming on, guys.
Dude,
really
thanks for
appreciate
having
it.
me, man. This
Yeah,
was,
that was
so
so fun.
fun.
Sorry, it took like, this is probably your longest episode.
It might
no?
be. It might be. Once I chop it up, it might be. But hey, it was worth it. I
Well,
mean,
this is
there's
my
a lot
first
to talk
time.
about with Nolan.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. The subject is definitely pretty
Dense.
complex, dense.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, dude,
Cool,
I
cool.
mean, in the future, I'd love to do it again, man. It was
For
really
sure.
fun
We got to have you
yeah.
guys back on.
Now I
Yeah,
have an
Justin, we
idea.
know you. We know you did one right before this, so
Yeah, I'm
we'll let
exhausted.
you go, man. You're probably so tired of this shit.
I need
so,
coffee.
Yeah,
I
thank
need
you
to
so
eat.
much, dude.
Thank
Awesome.
you, bro.
All right,
brother.
I'll see you
man.
guys.
Yeah, we'll see you in the future. Later.